Hey guys, DibtheAwesome here to give you another Monster Legends Guides where we talk about monsters' moves, rune sets, partners, all that jazz. Today we're talking about Psilotus, the upcoming new 70 Tower Event Challenge monster that's going to come out after the Eldritch Maze event. It could come out the same time during the Timuron event too. There's going to be a Miron event coming up, and there's going to be a bunch of abomination monsters. So that's really, really cool. And this monster would actually fairly counter them, which was a really ideal thing in terms of if it got to move first. That's the sense of that. But yeah, let's talk about this monster. This monster is a stamina oriented support slash denier that can also possess. He's very oriented around that. He actually doesn't have a AoE stamina drain. He has a really powerful stamina drain. We'll get to that later. That's the most ideal move. That's his like signature move. That's the hugest thing about him, and we'll get to that later. But he also can do, just to let you guys know, he can also possess targets. He's one of the he's one of the three AoE deniers in terms of a nature category. There are three, like in terms of there's an oddball of single target deniers like Lamu and Sarah, but there's only three like AoE deniers in nature category. There's this guy with AoE possession, and El Dino with his AoE stun, and Roasty with his AoE stun. Except Roasty is relatively so. He is known for his. He was known back in the day. He was known for his AoE stun. He was the only nature monster that could AoE deny. And yeah, obviously El Dino is going to be more prominent because of his speed is 421, 3,421. This guy is the second runner-up. But in terms of control, he is the top because he can chain deny. Possession is chain deniable, and that's awesome. Running full speed is an acceptable thing. Just note, his speed isn't the highest in terms of the meta game. It's 3,399. It's actually the lowest competitive. In terms of a competitive speed, this is the lowest. This is the lowest of the low. It's in terms of the animal kingdom, it's it's like a turtle. It's a turtle compared to the meta speed that is 421 through 531. In terms of a normal speed, presence, that's it. Yeah. So obviously, if you're running really, really good speed runes on him, and your enemy's not running the best speed runes in the world, you have a good chance to outspeed him, and that's going to be really great because his control is really, really great too. So power 3,432. Now, in all honesty, this guy's either going to be in your denier role or your supportive role, or your extra guy role. While this isn't the highest base power in the game, I'm going to say it's really, really nice for him because of his single target skill that can 100% stamina drain. It also refills his own stamina. We'll talk about that later. It's a base of 60 damage. So theoretically speaking, if you wanted to build this guy, extra guy, his damage, while it's not the highest damage in the world, it's constant and it's there and it drains everyone's stamina. In terms of 1v1ing, this guy's pretty great at it. I mean, like if the enemy doesn't have like something with extra turn capabilities or stamina refill capabilities, they're dead. They cannot deal with Psilotus's crap. And what have you. Just real quick, I'd like to talk about the forms. Here's the baby form, DNA form, and adult form. These designs are amazing. I love the designs. It's a really well done monster, and we're gonna keep it on the second form because I believe it's in all honesty, this is the happiest monster in the game. Look at that, especially the second form. He is just giving off the happiest presence in the game. Look at that. He's waving. He waves hi. Hello, Psilotus. Hello. See, look at that, a little wave. That's adorable. Look at that smile. It doesn't look like everyone has those, jagged teeth. It doesn't look like he's smiling. I like to think he's smiling. I like to think he's a happy monster. Even in second form, look at that. It's a smile. See, this is going upward. It's going upwards. He's happy. He's very happy, especially in the second form. Second form especially shows off his happy presence. Even in his bio, can you feel a halo of silence and peace around Psilotus? Well, Psilotus is a quiet monster, and so he wants his surroundings to be quiet too. So he's a very chill mushroom. He is a very true, very true blue, peaceful, happy monster. He is chill, and if mind control is required to achieve quietness, if like everyone's mad or pissed or whatever, he will use his mind powers to bring it on. They bring it on, he says. He is determined for peace in the world. This guy better be in the Good Legions book. Any other mess up in the, they could do for the Good Legions book that's something that doesn't make sense. This one has to be in the Good Legions. Please, put this man in the Good Legions book. It would be really, really cool. It would make sense. Don't put him in the Evil Legions. This guy doesn't look evil. This guy looks good. Just look at this guy. This guy, really cool. I think he's going to be in the Good Legions. I hope he's in the Good Legions. That'd be so cool. But yeah, power. Back to his stats now. We're going back to the thing. That's just a side note. Happy side. Hello. Hello again, Psilotus. The power, while it's not the highest in the game, it goes well with his single target skill that does 60 damage. If you have like double damage up or, just a damage boost too, that's significant. That's really nice. Obviously not his ideal role, but I'd say it's runnable. Most people will run him support or just deny for the most part. But if you wanted to do like an extra guy build, you can go for that. That's acceptable. It's genuinely speaking, this guy's base stats all around are really, really nice. The power is nice. The life is nice. 32k plus, 32,874. This allows him to survive quite a few hits from monsters. It also goes nice with a life rune. You can build team life on this. 29k is the lowest amount if you want to run team life with any given monster. This monster certainly has the life capabilities to do so. You can run them team life, you can run them team rune, any kind of team runes you want, team speed, team strength, whatever build you want to build with this man, he's acceptable with it. He's accepting, he's at peace with the world, he is cool with anybody. He's like, hi, hello friend, let's be friends. He is the very accepting monster. He's very cool. His speed is 3,399. Now, I think in terms of stats, this would be the only stat to ever be complaining about. You should not be complaining about its life. You should not be complaining about its power. The only thing people should only ever complain about, if there's anything to complain about with this monster's stats, is its speed stat. It runs as fast as Varna. Now, this speed is pretty tricky. Okay, so any competitive mainstream monster with this speed, there's a few reasons why this is an acceptable speed, why people run full speed on this, and have it be the only denier on their team. Sometimes people will just run Varna as a deny, nothing else. They'll have the Varna, they'll have the support and the attacker. The problem with that being is Varna is not immune to freeze. He's in the water category. He is immune to stun, so he doesn't care about maybe the attacker or the other support if they just rely on stunning rather than any other form of, deny. It's a problem because everything, in his category is usually freezing. For Psilotus' case, it's not too much of a problem because there's not really anything besides, in fact, the only problem I think, like in his only threatening category would be either a Lamu, a Sarah, just anything pretty much faster than him. They have to single him out, except, if they use the Psilotus or, El Dino either or, with the AoE deny. He doesn't have much to worry about in his nature category. So that's nice. He can also weasel his way out of possession too. So even if you're fighting even if your Psilotus is fighting against a fellow Psilotus, there's a chance he'll weasel his way out of the control, unless he's single target stamina drained. Then he's out. Then he's like bumped up for a bit, but he can possibly come back if he actually got to move and do his own 100% stamina that also recovers 100% of his own stamina back, which is nice. And he also, another thing that saves him too, it's usually the trait too. Like Aegir, for example, he shares the same speed with Varna and Psilotus, but he has the immunity to possession, and the vast majority of magic monsters do tend to possess, and a lot of people tend just to bring possessors anyway, so that's a really good matchup, so that's really, really nice. That's going for him. And he's got the hardened trait. You have a 20% chance not to actually land your deny. Now, solid denies for the most part are really, really nice. They're really good. A lot of people just prefer solid denies over just hardened. Hardened is a really, really it's a really risky thing, but it's also a really rewarding thing if it doesn't, the deny doesn't actually land, because then they can move and do their own devastating stuff. Voltic, for example, if you don't deny Voltic, the game's done. If you're playing Brittle and you don't deny that Voltic, the game's done. They win. They're pretty much guaranteed to win. Just because Voltic has 4 turns of extra turns, and if your monsters are brittle as sticks, they're dead. Voltic excels at that. If he doesn't get denied, he can do his own shenanigans. He can just straight up AoE possess. He could just 100% stamina drain any given monster and make them virtually useless. He can do that. He can honestly do that. And he has an extra turn skill that extra turn skill, I'm sorry, that can reset that one turn cooldown skill. But anyway, having hardened trait makes him universally good for defense. A variety of different builds can be devastating towards the enemy should they miss their deny. Nature is unfair, removes 100% of stamina from all targets, adds 100% stamina to all allies. This word nature should be removed and put in this game is unfair. There we go. or monster is unfair. Because this is pretty much Thedes. Not Thedes' ultimate, Thedes' stamina devourer skill on drugs. So basically, if he gets this skill, it drains everybody's stamina on the enemy team, and it gives back all your stamina on your team. This skill is awesome, broken, and really unfair. Nature is unfair, game. Design. You could also say designers is unfair. This skill is again really, really good, really, really broken. Virtually, if you have something that can AoE deny, they're not going to get anywhere. They won't win. they just won't, because it's kind of like if you drain the stamina and freeze them constantly, stun after or anything like that. It's basically mega stunning them. That's heavy. That's huge. And it's just got a great coverage. No one's resistant to stamina there is no stamina resistant monster because it's not a status effect. It's just straight up taking away their stamina. And that's really, really strong and powerful and nice. Again, really good ultimate. If you get this ultimate, just use it right away. You're going to drain all their stamina, and you'll get all your stamina back. Or you could save it in your pocket for later in case you get Thedes upon. That's a good thing to save it for. That's the best thing you could do. This is a huge counter to Voltic too. I will say that real quick. This man is just straight up a huge counter, especially if you're building if you build like 2 lives, and not 2 lives, 2 speeds at a life, he will for sure not kill it on the first go, and he can just keep draining his stamina. The only thing I would say, it would have to be like if he didn't continue, if he's for some reason at some point stopped draining all of Voltic's stamina, if like the combo broke, or because Voltic doesn't care about position all that much, but he does care about that 100% stamina drain. That's the hugest thing. This guy is really, really good in 1v1 situations. Again, we gotta keep it at this form too, because hey, it's happy. Hi, it's a happy Psilotus. Hello. So yeah, before I don't usually talk about skill groups 1 moves. We'll talk about this move though. In the case you want to be a special snowflake and run a damage set, if you wanted to run a damage set, you will have to run this 30 damage AOE that's special based. It's spammable, 0 turn cooldowns, 30 damage. You could also run this for shits and giggles too. If you're if you're in a war situation fighting Timeron, if they do cooldowns activated, hey, you can say hello, spore infection, take damage, hashtag take damage. It's the highest damage. No, it's a fun idea. If you wanted to run damage Psilotus, you can. That's acceptable. That's fine. It's not just keep a note. It's not the highest damage dealer in the game. I'm just giving you that suggestion. If you do want to run damage Psilotus, I highly recommend the skill for damage Psilotus. Last Breath adds 30% of stamina to ally, gains 1 extra turn, requires a cooldown of 4 turns, 0 damage, obviously, 28 stamina. This is basically stamina regen points. You're basically giving someone a turn of stamina regain. It's just like every turn for stamina regen is 41 points. This will give you 41 points. This without a stamina rune, that is. Without a stamina, if they're not using a stamina rune, you get 41 points back. 41 stamina points. That's 30% of your 140 stamina. So this move is alright. It's also a good combo. People are also hypothesizing this is like Demise's move. Demise is able to give extra turn, double damage to a monster, pretty much giving them priority turn while still having their turn on the board. If it works like that, this is also a really good prioritizer monster. This just makes it so the enemy, not the enemy, your monsters, your attackers can go without having to run speed. You can run different runes on them. That's what makes Demise so great, is because you can run a damage dealer with full damage. You can prioritize that damage dealer and just get rid of the thing that's high on steroid speed, and you're good at that point. You're really solid. Now, I would like to think this skill just works as giving someone 30% stamina and Psilotus gets to move again. if it does work like that, or if it does work like in a situation where you can give someone an extra turn skill, you might just want to think about just using it on him himself because of a skill I'm going to talk about later. This is a really, really good skill. It basically shortens his cooldowns. It'll basically shorten anyone's cooldowns, because it's giving them an extra turn. It's giving them a turn in advance of their own turn. It's allow combos. It's just a really good, versatile move. I do recommend running this skill just because of its usability in terms of support. In case someone is like 100% stamina drained, use this on them. It'll get them their stamina back and they'll be able to move. That's really, really nice. I think the only thing to complain about this move is its cooldown. So 4-turn cooldown. If it just gives him the extra turn, then it's theoretically speaking, it's a 3-turn cooldown. It's actually only a 3-turn cooldown at that point. Nature Control deals moderate nature damage and may possess target. This is a 2-turn cooldown, 45 damage, 25 stamina skill. In terms of stamina cost, this is really, really nice. In terms of cooldown, really, really nice. In terms of effect, also really, really nice. It's a single target possession skill. This allows it so he's really good in 1v1ing. He is very good. If the monster is not immune to possession, you have a really good chance of winning. You can control them you can pretty much control them the whole game while also just draining their stamina for the whole game. It's amazing. This guy's nuts in 1v1 fighting. He's the best, and in all honesty, I think this guy's the best 1v1er in the game. One of the best. Just one of the best. If it's just like, not in terms of like, just straight up one of the best. You can literally 1v1 anything in terms of an AI opponent. Especially it's an AI opponent. He will just destroy him. If he gets the main control. If he can just control him the whole game, he wins. He's a really good 1v1er. For the team, see, team player, look at this man right here. Look at him in the non-existent eyes. He has no eyes. But look him at his smile. Look him in the smile. Look him in the smile. Just look at this wave. Hi, hello, friend. This is the teamiest for the team skill. This guy is a team player too. You can make him like a team player if you wanted to. Adds 100% of stamina to ally. Removes 100 stamina from itself. Requires a cooldown of a single turn. 0 damage, 28 stamina. Now people would wonder what's the benefit for running this skill. Like I said before, this guy has amazing control. Why would you want to run a skill that takes all of his stamina away and gives 100% of stamina to your designated target? What's the benefit in that? The benefit of running this skill, if you don't know what the skill is even meant for, it's actually specifically designed for things that actually run a stamina rune. That's what the point of this move is. If you saw this monster before this guy, if you thought this move was literally shit, it has no use. This is the point of this move. It's specifically for Voltic, it's specifically for Xyla, and it's specifically for anything that, runs stamina runes. That's what this move is designed for. It gives them all their stamina back. Now, a Voltic Onslaught is really, really, really heavy. If they're running 421 stamina, that's a heavy onslaught. If the odds are you've probably taken a lot of damage at this point. Do you know how soul-crushing it is to see if this guy just refill all of his stamina again so he can just do everything again? It's just soul-crushing. But yeah, this is what that move is for. So if you want to build this guy specifically to help Voltic, Xyla, what have you, you should probably run the skill. If not, run it on your own Discord. I think well-planned players can use this to their advantage, or specific monsters that use a lot of stamina but they have really powerful moves. They'll probably use the skill for that, or just build them around that. But if you're not going to build this move, with any specific monster, don't run it. But if you are, do run it. It's just a good support skill for stamina-oriented monsters. It just is. That's why, theoretically speaking, he's one of the better stamina monsters in the game, or is the best stamina monster in the game, just simply because he can give everyone, not everyone, his single person his stamina back, or if he gets his ultimate. Don't forget, his ultimate too. It can give all of the stamina back for someone, and that's nice. That's really great. Botai can also do that with his ultimate. But in terms of a player skill, I don't think there's really a monster in the game yet that just straight up gives everyone their stat. Well, that's Thedes. Take that back. There's Thedes. But just straight up single person. Like if it's a single person, it's again not a healthy skill to run. But if it's for Voltic or for Xyla, run it. Never mind what I just said about the first one. No, it's not the first one. Thedes is able to refill everybody's stamina easily to the fullest. To the bin. So yeah, not the healthiest skill to run, but just for specific monsters. Enough said. Nature Owner deals moderate nature damage to all enemies and possesses all targets. It's an AoE possession only on. Okay, listen to this. It's only on a 2-turn cooldown. The cooldown on this move is nuts. It's just 2-turn. It's a 2-turn cooldown. This is a 2-turn cooldown. The rotation for like in terms of rotations, it's a fantastic rotation. This monster has fantastic skill rotation. This just works. It's just great. What have you? This is a really good versatile skill. Basically, you can possess all the enemy monsters, and it'll benefit you a lot. It'll be really nice for you. This excels, again, it helps him with his 1v1ing. Whenever you possess a NPC, they'll do an attack. They won't charge up. That's why possession's really, really great in a meta, because it's chainable, so you can control them the whole game, and it just works. It just works wonders. It's amazing. You just get them the whole game. That's how possession works. Now, if it was against like human players, then it would have trouble because all they have to do is recharge. They don't actually take damage. They're only taking damage from that 30, natural damage of 30 damage. But if it was an AI, they'll obviously do an attack. So it works better with AI opponents than it does with human players. But the thing is, we don't fight human players, we fight AI. So that's why possession, again, is really, really good. And it'll help him, again, with his 1v1 capabilities. Run the skill. This is a must skill to run. You have to run Nature's Owner, and you should totally run, again, Last Breath, and you should probably run Nature Control too. Just, again, gives him more 1v1 opportunities. Saliva Thirst. Okay, this is the skill. This is his Kamehameha. This is his Omen / Cloud move. Cloud. If you played Final Fantasy 9, so not 9-7, Omen /. This is his skill. This is his main move. This is his secret technique. It's Saliva Thirst. Behold my ultimate technique, Saliva Thirst. Oh my god. Saliva Thirst. Alright, so this is a 60 damage skill. Again, the damage on this skill is nuts. The stamina cost for this move is 34, and the cooldown is a single turn cooldown. Deals very heavy special damage, removes 100% of the stamina from the target, adds 100% of the stamina to itself, requires a cooldown again, single turn. It's a 1-turn cooldown. You can combo Saliva Thirst after you use Saliva Thirst on a monster that you do not want to move, or like monster that you do not want to see moving, like Thedes, Voltic, what have you. You use Last Breath and then use Saliva Thirst again. That's the combo. That's if you were fighting a human player, they would do this combo first. They would use it in conjunction with their main denier. I think if you don't run them, again, another benefit for not running them as your main denier, you run them as a sub, or a support, sub denier, what have you. He can do this. He's freely able to do his combo. If you make him your main denier, you kind of feel obligated to do his AoE possession. It's just that thing, and it just, in my opinion, it would run better. But it's personal preference. It's whatever you want. This monster, again, goes whatever you want. It goes with player style. There's no real wrong build for this monster, unless you build like I'd say like a stamina build. As like he gets all of his stamina back using this move. There's no point to build him stamina runes. But any other build, and gold too. If you want to be trolly like that, what about a gold build? Does that work then? No, it's not a damage. It's not a battle related stat. But yeah, any other team runes, life, strength, what have you, it just works because of this one skill. This skill just is so adaptive. It gets all of his stamina back, and it removes everyone else's. It removes that single target stamina. It's a really, really good move. At some point, no one's going to be able to move just because this guy keeps taking it people's shit. That's what makes this guy funny. This is a really, really great move. This is the move you have to run on all builds. This is the must. If you want to run damage, run this skill. If you want to run deny, run this skill. If you want to run support, run this skill. There's really no reason not to run the skill. It's just too great of a skill not to run. It's just universally great. It removes any stamina, just any monster, any stamina. Stamina is not a status effect, so it's really good against these. It's really good against generals in general. VIPs, Nemesis, what have you. It's great. I'd say the only thing that really counters this move, realistically, in the game at the moment is Hydratilla's spammable stamina regen skill. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that counters this move. And it's on a Nemesis monster. It's on a monster you pay real money for. So this is a really great skill. It's a really great control skill. It's a great 1v1ing skill. I'd say the only time you're not going to win a 1v1 fight is if they get their ultimate on a turn. You didn't possess them. That's the only time you're not winning. But for the most part, you should be winning with this monster. And it's a very lovely move. It's a very lovely monster. Again, really lovely design, really lovely move set. It's just devastating. Rise of Plants adds 30 stamina to all allies, requires a cooldown of 3 turns, 0 damage, 26 stamina, obviously because it does no damage. It's just refill stamina. I don't like the amount this move the actual amount this move gives in terms of stamina. It's a turn of stamina regen. Just run just run a monster with AoE stamina regen. There's no point to running the skill. Versus all the other things that it offers on the table. Just run. And honestly, these 4 moves exist to it. Unless you build in. I'd say you're gonna have to swap out natural control for the team if you want to run it with Voltic. But beyond that, yeah, just run Last Breath, Nature Control, Nature Owner, and Saliva Thirst. This, in terms of usage, it's not that prominent. It's not that excelling. If it was 50%, by all means, at that point, go ahead and do, because that can counter 50% stamina drain. You can also run it for situations where they're running Stamina Lake, or against Singularius. Anything in that kind of situation where it doesn't drain all your stamina away. Beyond that, there's really not much of a point to run it. There's also better monsters that do this anyway, in terms of just giving back stamina. Ukaduma, for example, it does the same amount, I do believe, and he can spam it, and it removes negative effects. It's an add-on thing. Not the most prominent skill. But again, it's gonna stamina. If you want to run it for fun, by all means do. This is a really fun monster. You run it however you want. This thing, again, you can build this monster any way you want. You can build him any rune set you want. It just works. He's a carefree monster. He's down with anything. See, hello. So yeah, that was the moveset. The recommended moveset: Last Breath, Natural Control, Saliva Thirst, and Natural Owner. Things to pair up with this monster. In all honesty, if you can pair this monster up with anything, honestly, this monster works with anything. I'd say things that give it life regen. If you pair this man up with life regen monsters, dick move, because then they won't be able to get rid of this thing. The base life on this monster is fantastic, so life regen will work fantastic with it, especially if it's building a life rune too. So life regen is the highly recommended choice. This monster doesn't need to kill you quickly. He can kill you with time. He has all the time in the world to just screw your day up. So if you have things that give life regen, you're solid. He doesn't mind too much. Hydratilla works fantastic with this monster. I don't even have him yet. I already know he works fantastic with him because he can give AoE stamina regen. So in that regard, if like your Hydratilla gives stamina regen to everybody, he'll always be able to move, and he'll always be able to use his 100% stamina refill. Even if he got 100% stamina drains by Thetis, if you have the Hydratilla, if you set this man up, he can do his own 100% stamina drain, and you'll have a pretty good time from there. You can counter Thetis in that way. You can counter Thetis in that way by being able to do stamina regen, and then he'll be able to move Saliva Thirst something to get all of his stamina back. And now that other Thetis monster can't really do anything, so you have a good opportunity to make a comeback. You just do. That's just how it works. You could also run, I will say, Rise of the Plants. You could also use Rise of the Plants for that situation too. Well, again, not really no point, because then you have stamina. Just forget that. You have stamina regen up. You don't need that. But again, this monster is very good at winning. This guy has a good luck around it. He's got like the lucky coin. He's just a happy monster. He's a happy monster that pairs up with anybody. So that's my next recommended partner. Anybody. This monster is pretty chill. If you can make up for the lack of just the lack of AoE damage, he'll be fine with that. Run this guy as a secondary. If you want to make him primary, make sure like the enemy team doesn't necessarily have the better runes than you. He just runs better. And I'll see this guy run. If you want to run this guy as your main denier, make sure he's in a situation where you have the better runes in terms of a defensive comp. I mean, you obviously outspeed them, and whatever this guy does in terms of an AI presence, this guy is technically AI idiot proof, because whatever he does, it's dangerous. It's just straight up you know, dangerous. It's just straight up. This is a really good monster overall. Even the wiki comments, as toxic as it is sometimes it can be pretty toxic, sometimes it's not, in terms of new monsters, like, oh, this guy isn't like this monster, or this guy isn't like this monster. People also, even in the wiki comments, people think this is an awesome monster. They think it's amazing. They also think the stamina drain move is broken, and that's true, it is. It's a 60 damage based skill that's on a 1-turn cooldown. It's just breaks well. It's just well. Counters. If you want to counter this thing, deny it. Don't ever let this thing move. Stamina drain it. Stamina drain. It's not, even though it can get 100% of its stamina back, it still needs stamina to move. So if you can stamina drain it, if you can keep this thing from moving, you're good. You're in a good spot. It costs 34 stamina, so as long as you keep 34 stamina off this man, you know, as long as you keep him from casting that move, he can't move, and that's beneficial for you. This thing is really, really hard to kill without damage boost, so make sure you have something with double damage. Barbatos. Barbatos will easily melt this thing, even if it's running a life rune. Anything with an extra turn skill, because it can bypass the possession, it can bypass that. Anything with an extra turn skill that's a, you know, self buff, it can bypass this possession, it can bypass the control of this monster, and you'll just have a better chance of living if you do just that. Things you do have to look out for, if the monster does get an extra turn skill, make sure, like, when you do use it, you'll have enough to actually move, to kill a monster or something, to get rid of anything on the field. You just need the other monsters dead, and you need to make sure this guy doesn't drain you down. This guy can drain pretty much any monster down. This thing is very, very powerful. It's the equivalent of using, like, Breloom in Pokemon competitive scene. It's very equivalent to that. He can spore you, just beat you up with Technician, what have you. It's dangerous in that regard. It's, you know, mushroom monsters in general tend to be really, really dangerous. They have the tendency to be. Not all of them. That's not the case for every game, but mushroom monsters have the tendency, especially if it's a competitive mushroom monster, they tend to have the tendency to be pretty dangerous. So overall, I'm excited for this monster. Really good monster. Build him however you want. Pick a time. Pick a time. Sorry about that. It's like showing up on my screen now. I'm just going to put that there for a bit. I'm just going to hide that there. Windows update. Fantastic monster overall. Runes, build them however you want. Whatever fits your situation. If you're finding out monsters that are just being really, really faster than you, run them as your secondary support. If you just want to just straight up run them full speed, you can. It works. Run them as your second in situations where you're not the fastest, where like the runes are equal, and you're just not outspeeding things. He has Harden. That's just a chance, though, not to get by, but deny doesn't guarantee you're not getting denied. It's just a chance not to get denied, and that's nice. You can build them whatever you want. His skills just allow it. If you're building damage, I guess you don't have to. No, see, if you're building damage, you might not have to run the skill, but it's an option. It's special based. But no, honestly, I think you should just get away with the control. You can get rid of, you know, natural control. Just again, the damage alone from Saliva Thirst, I think it might be more than enough. You don't even have to run the special based skill if you don't want to. And that's all I have to say in terms of notes, because this skill is actually 30 damage. Nature based, true, but they're going to damage themselves too. You also got to keep that in mind. So there's no real point. Again, if you want to be a special Self-Fake, again, you can do just that. Enough said about, in all honesty, that's the last thing I need to say in terms of that. Overall, good monster, good design, really strong broken moves that are probably going to get nerfed. I can see that in the future, what have you. Overall, really good monster. I'm DibtheAwesome. I'll catch you guys later.